Hello, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about the numeric data type for sqlrpgle. Okay, so what we are going to do this in this demo program. Firstly, we will create one table through sqlrpgle program, and in that table we will use only numeric data type. In our last session, we discussed about all the data type which are related to character or string. This time we are going to discuss all the data type which is related to numeric. Okay. So for that, I have already created one program. So I will take this program in edit mode, and now we will see the program. So first of all, what we are doing here, we are declaring one constant with name SQL state underscore valid. And here we are passing the value as 00 means or 5 times 5. Okay. So this constant we are going to use when, let's say, once we have executed the query, SQL query, just after that we will check this constant. We will check this SQL state with this constant. If both are same, if it means if it returns 5 times 0, then this query is executed successfully. Otherwise, we need to check for the SQL state, and then we can check what the output, why we are getting that particular SQL state. Okay. So this thing I will tell you in the code, like how we are using it. Okay. So here we are creating the table using exec command, exec sql. Then we are writing query create or replace tables Sharmit 1/product detail. So this create or replace we are using because suppose if the file is already created, then in that case it will give error if we try to create it again with the same name. Okay, so that's why we are using this replace keyword. So if file is already there, then it will replace it, otherwise it will create the table. Then inside the parenthesis we are declaring all the fields that we want to create in our file. So first field name is product1, and this is of integer type. So if you want to declare any field or any column with the integer data type, so you can simply write int. That's it. Second field we are using here is product2, and the data type here we are using is small int. So if you want to use small integer data type, then you can write in like this small int. For product 3 we are using command data type as bigint. So difference between int, small int and bigint is only the size that it provides. Okay. So in bigint you can simply write bigint. Then fourth parameter, fourth data type we are using here is decimal. So if you want to declare any column with which will hold the decimal value, then you can use this product 4 as this is my product 4 field name, and I'm using decimal like this. Decimal in parenthesis I'm passing 5 and 2. So 2 is the decimal position. Similarly, if you want to declare one variable with numeric data type, so we have separate numeric data type. So you can declare field like product 5 numeric and 10 and 2. So 2 is the decimal position and 10 is the size. Okay. So this is how we can create the table with all numeric data types. So today we discuss about integer, small integer, big integer, decimal and numeric data type. So once this query got executed, then we will check the SQL state. So here we are validating if SQL state is equals to SQL state underscore valid, which is a constant value which holds 5 times 0, then it means the table is created successfully. But if it return the SQL state as 01567, then it means the table is created but not journal. So if you remember, while creating the PF, it always shows that PF is created but not journal. So here also, if we are creating the table, then it will only create the table, but it will not journal it. Okay, and journal is a very important topic, means it is a separate topic that we will discuss in later videos. Okay, journaling, the concept of journaling. For now we will just see like at the time of creating the table it will not journal. Okay, we have to do journaling by some other process. So for only for this creation table it will not return 5 times 0. Instead of that it will return 01567 because it is not journaled. Okay, so we are just printing the message table created but not journaled. And in else condition, if you are not sure what other SQL state are coming, then we will simply display that SQL state and display the message query ended with an error. Then doing end if and star INLR equals to star on. Okay, now there should be one question like why we are using this SQL state and how we got to know about this thing. So this thing I have identified through my debug program. Okay, so when you debug this, like once you create this query and when this query got executed, then in debug mode you can check the, what is SQL state. If you go and evaluate the SQL state, then it will return this number, or whatever the number we are retrieving from this query, it will return, it will write that. We will see in debug mode. So let me compile this. Compile successfully. Now I will compile my debug program. So in debug program, what we are doing, we are just creating the program with source, and then we are putting it into debug mode. So in our previous session also we use the same program for setting the program in debug mode. So we will call this program directly. So it will take and it will set my program to debug mode. There I will show you like how we can check the SQL state and SQL code. Some people use SQL code, some uses SQL state for validating the query. So it is up to you what you want to use, but I would recommend to use SQL state over the SQL query code. So just set the breakpoint as BR1, then press F10. It automatically calls my program. So I will go, and now once I press F10, it will execute this query. So this query is executed. Now here you can write EB SQL state. So after every execution, it returns some SQL state. So right now it is returning as 01567. So we got the number. Now you can search over the internet like what is the meaning of this 01567 SQL state. And whatever the meaning is, accordingly you can decide your program. If there is any issue in the query, then you can resolve it. Otherwise you can change the flow. Okay. So if I similarly, you can also look for SQL code. If you want to validate it using SQL code, then you can write EB SQL code. So it is returning 97905. So both have same meaning. The difference is the types of code. So if I do F10, it will print the message table created but was not general. Okay. So program is ended. Now we will end the debug. Okay. So we got confirmation like how we can get the SQL state and SQL code in debug mode. Now what we will do, we will execute some operations on this table that we have recently created. So for that I will run one query, select star from Sharmit1/product DTL. Hit enter. So you can see right now it is blank with 5 fields. But fields are created. If you take F9, F4 and in select field, put your cursor here and then press F4 again. So these are the length that is created for these variable. For integer length is 9, for a small integer length is 4, for big integer length is 18, for decimal we have specified it as 5 and 2, for numeric we have specified it 10 and 2. Okay, so this is how it declares the file. Now we will try to insert some data in this. So I will reuse my query that I have already created for inserting the data. So what we are inserting here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right now I'm not assigning any decimal value. It will automatically take it as 00. So hit this query, one row inserted. Now we will execute the select star again. So you can see data is inserted. So this is integer, this is small integer, this is big integer, this is decimal, and this is numeric data type. It automatically takes the scale value as 0 because we have not provided any scale value. So yeah, this is how we can insert the data. And let me show you one more thing. If I press F9 again, let me take this query. Here we will try to insert with some decimal values, 0.10, 0.10. So it is inserted. We will F9. So you can see it accommodate that decimal value as well. So this is it returns 40.10, 50.10. So this is how it insert the record for decimal and numeric data type. So in this portion, what we have discussed like how to create the table using the data type which is related to numeric values like integer, small integer, big integer, decimal, and numeric. In our previous session, we were discussing about that what all types of character data types are available. Okay, So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.